All right, so this is number 3 in this series of what goes wrong with your cast. This is a very interesting one. The good news is this is one that's easily fixable. So have you ever noticed a lot of times when you throw your cast, the fly line goes straight, but all of a sudden the fly might land right or it might land left of the target, and you're not quite sure what that is? Let me tell you, it's very simple. You must, and we've talked about this before, keep the fly rod on one plane, a full plane back, full forward. Everywhere that tip goes, that fly line will follow that tip. So if you're casting and you're allowing the fly rod to come around, when that line lays out, that fly is going to kick at the last second to wherever that fly rod went. So again, here's what we're going to do. You want to make sure that it's a straight cast back, straight cast forward, straight back, straight forward. And when I mean just straight, it's just keeping that rod in one straight motion. Now remember, I don't care if you throw more at the 1 o'clock position, because quite frankly, I throw between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, or 2 o'clock, as long as you keep that cast, that rod tip, equal with the entire rod. Don't allow it to sway. A lot of times what happens is when you pick the line up, you'll sway around and then you'll straighten it out. You'll sway around and then you'll straighten it out. As soon as you do that, if you don't have a strong enough forward cast to take care of that, when it hits, that fly will follow that rod tip. It's very interesting because it's very subtle moves in that rod tip, which can create that problem at the other end. But again, like I said, it's really solvable. So when you've got a nice straight rod back and forth, it'll lay out flat. If you see that it's not, just stop what you're doing, strip it in, make a few false casts, and lay it nice and straight. Reposition your rod again to where you're keeping it nice and straight, and that'll solve that problem every time. This is an easy one to do. Now, let me tell you one time, or one thing that happens periodically, when you're on the bow of the boat and you have a guide pushing you, and you're going at 12 o'clock, and you're throwing at fish, which is all good. Everything's nice and straight. Now, all of a sudden, if there's a fish further off to the right, I don't want you to turn to face it. You can, but guides mostly don't like you to turn on their platform. Ask your guide just to kick you around a little bit. Because what I don't want you to do, if you're facing straight, is to now face another direction and then try to turn and go this way. Everything when you do that, if you don't get it perfect, you're bringing that rod around and you're turning your whole body. The other thing I don't like about that, and we'll talk about that later, is during a hook set. So ask your guide just to give you a little kick left or a little kick right. That'll then put you straight in line with that target. Better to do that than have a lot of body movement on the bow of anybody's boat. And then that'll always allow you to make a nice straight cast. Remember, nice straight cast, straight back, straight forward, and that'll eliminate that fly going from left to right. It's a real simple thing. Just practice it. I want you to know that when that fly lands, one or the other, that's going to solve it. Just straighten that cast back up. You'll take care of it every time.